The collapse of governments, how societies could fall and what happens afterward. We often think of government as a stable institution, but what if it were to collapse? A sudden fall of government could change everything we know about society. Let's take a deep dive into how governments collapse and what could happen in a post-collapse world. Why did the government break up with society? Because they just couldn't agree on anything anymore. What is government collapse? Government collapse occurs when the institutions and structures that hold a society together break down, often due to political, economic, or military failures. This can be triggered by factors like civil war, natural disasters, or financial crisis, and it usually leads to a power vacuum. Economic crises as a catalyst. One of the most common causes of government collapse is economic instability. High inflation, unemployment, and national debt can lead to public unrest. When the economy fails to provide for citizens, people lose trust in their government, sometimes resulting in protests, revolutions, or the collapse of the government entirely. Political corruption and mismanagement. Governments that are riddled with corruption often experience a loss of credibility and effectiveness. If political leaders prioritize personal gain over the welfare of their citizens, this can lead to widespread dissatisfaction and the eventual downfall of the regime. Civil war and armed conflict. Civil wars can split a country apart, leading to the collapse of central authority. When different factions vie for control, the government's ability to maintain order and provide services crumbles. This usually results in widespread violence, loss of life, and a breakdown of law and order. Natural disasters and global crises. Major natural disasters, like earthquakes, hurricanes, or pandemics, constrain a government's ability to respond and maintain control. If the infrastructure collapses, essential services are disrupted, and the government fails to act quickly and effectively, this can lead to political instability and eventually collapse. Military coups and takeovers. In some cases, the military may step in and overthrow the government, especially if the military feels that the civilian government has become ineffective or illegitimate. This can happen through a coup d'état, where the military assumes control, often leading to a dictatorship or authoritarian regime. A breakdown of rule of law. When the government collapses, the legal systems that uphold society's rules often break down. This creates a chaotic environment where individuals or factions may take the law into their own hands, leading to widespread violence and lawlessness. The social effects of government collapse. A government collapse often causes a breakdown in social order. People may revert to survivalist behavior, leading to hoarding, theft, and a general lack of trust. This can lead to the formation of new social orders, where local groups or militias take control, offering protection in exchange for loyalty. Economic fallout. Post-collapse. The collapse of a government can trigger severe economic consequences, including a loss of currency value, hyperinflation, and a breakdown in trade. This leaves citizens without access to basic goods and services, causing extreme hardship for the population. International effects and isolation. If a government collapses, the international community may either intervene to stabilize the situation or impose sanctions. Countries may also cut off trade, leading to further isolation and economic hardship. This can also lead to a loss of diplomatic recognition, making it harder for the country to re-establish a stable government. The rise of new leaders or factions. In the aftermath of a government collapse, new leaders or factions often emerge. These may be charismatic individuals or groups who seek to fill the power vacuum. They may offer new ideologies or promises of rebuilding, but these leaders can either restore order or deepen the chaos. The role of technology and information control. In a post-collapse world, the control of information becomes crucial. If the government falls, media and communication networks may be disrupted, but new forms of communication, such as social media or underground movements, may rise to help the public organize and spread information. Technology can be both a tool for stability or further division. Rebuilding after the collapse. Rebuilding after a government collapse is a long and difficult process. It may involve forming new political structures, establishing new forms of governance, and healing the wounds caused by the collapse. Countries may rebuild over time through diplomacy, grassroots movements, or external aid, but it's rarely a smooth process. A government collapse is a catastrophic event that leads to the breakdown of society. It can happen due to economic collapse, corruption, civil war, or other factors, and it results in chaos, violence, and instability. However, over time, new leaders, systems, and ideas often emerge, and rebuilding can begin. The process is long and difficult, but history shows that societies can recover from even the most devastating collapses, though the scars of the past often remain. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, share and subscribe for more.